just in the KW app. So it's the white square with the red KW. White square, red KW, just the KW consumer app where you can search for properties and it'll pull up homes for sale.
And where did you get your seller guide at on there? Oh, right there. I see it.
So across the bottom, you have search, you have feed. So if you have like saved searches and stuff, they'll pop up in the feed, and your clients have the same app and it'll be branded to you. And then you've got the guide and saved houses. And then under more, it's got a whole menu of options where you can check your account. You can pull up Keller Covered, Keller Mortgage. You can share the KW app. So this is how you would share your app. And it will tell you who your agent is. So your app should say that you are your own agent. And if it doesn't, you need to switch that and claim yourself as your agent, because then what happens is when I share my app, it automatically brands it to me when I share it with somebody else. Erica, did you have a question?
Oh, I actually did, but I definitely thought I was on mute.
You didn't say anything, but your box is green, so I thought you might have a question.
A couple meetings ago, we had downloaded like the new command app. So what used to be the old Kelly, but then I still have my like app that I send to people to use. So are those the same thing or are those different?
Different. So you'll see at the bottom of my screen there, I have a white KW app and a red KW app.
Yes.
So
which one are you telling us to, which one should we be looking at right now that like we can brand to ourselves with having like our seller's guide and buyer's guide?
The white KW app. That would
Got it. Okay. I just logged into the wrong one then. Okay.
So your white one is your consumer app and your red one is your command app. Okay. So in your white one, that's where you would make sure it's branded to you, and that's where you would you can see it's all branded. You can share the app from there. People can refer you, so you can hit refer and it would text my agent information to other people. So that's kind of where that one sits. And then inside that, across the bottom, there's the guides, and those are the buyer and seller guides. And these buyer and seller guides, I highly recommend that you go in and edit those, which I'll show you here in a second. That you edit them to match your buyer presentation, basically, and your pre-listing packet or your guide to selling a home. So inside of command, which is where I am on the computer screen, towards the bottom of the menu bar on the left-hand side, if you hover over those last two things, it says consumer. It's the very last option on the left-hand side. And here is where you can do lots of things. The one thing that you can do is you can edit your agent site pages. So this is where you would add agent sites pages to your agent site. So when you go to like KW, like mine's amy.petard@kw.com, or maybe it's just amy.petard@kw.com. I don't really know which it is. These are the pages that you would see there. You can see, oh, look, it's right there, amy.petard@kw.com. You can configure your site right there. There's a little link where it's going to take you through a little wizard to set up your site. When you got started with Keller Williams, whoever set you up, some of you I think are still Scott Leroy people and some are Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, set up all your logins and everything. They got your site kind of up and running for you so that you had a site, but it's very basic. And so you may want to go in there and just hit configure your site and walk through the little wizard and guide to setting up your site and make sure everything's how you want it and set up. And then again, you can go in there and edit pages. Okay.
Hey, Amy.
Yes.
I just went through that whole, I found the original email Megan sent me,
Uh-huh.
and it had where was it Scott Leroy marketing when they were originally doing it. They had the video on how to do all that kind of stuff on there, a YouTube video. It
Yep.
was actually very, very helpful on how to walk through there and change the photos,
Yep.
change this and that. Yeah, I ended up changing out all but one of my photos on my website. I kind of brought made it personal in the sense by putting some, baseball pictures or me and the family, that showing me and also, but nothing dramatic or whatever, but it was kind of
Yep.
nice.
Cool. So yeah, you can absolutely go in there and edit the site. If you go through this agent wizard, it'll walk you through it, or this configure site wizard. There's probably a video. Obviously, if you were Scott Laurie, it was probably in the original email with all your usernames and passwords. Or if you just walk through this configure site, it kind of walks through there. So like my pictures are all from the local area. It's Dixon, Vacaville, Sassoon. You'll see there's pictures there. You can search properties, right? And then these are your pages that you've created. And then like social media links are in here. So like there's a home buying guide. So if I pull up the home buying guide, it matches, again, this matches the guide on my app, which matches my buyer presentation, basically. And it walks you through like buying a home and how that whole process works. So you would edit that inside of command under the agent pages, and you can create a new page just by hitting create a new page, and then they can walk through. I will say that my pages, most of my pages were created under Wix. I have a Wix website, and it has a little bit more freedom to mess with the fonts and the layout, and it was a little easier. So I built it in there and then linked it into my command website. So that's where my pages come from. The Keller mortgage page that I have, that one is also, I did it in Wix. This is actually what got me started on the Wix. So this get pre-approved. This is, if you go to, it should have been in the email that I sent you when you got started, the intro email for the productivity program. There's a site you can go to, you plug in your agent information, and it's not going to load today. That's very sad. And it makes you a custom landing page for like Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. And that's how I built this page. I just took that link, that hyperlink, and I put it into Wix, and then I loaded it into here. But it's not loading today because it's not being very nice to me right now. So we're just going to ignore it. But I have a Keller Covered and a insurance options for Keller. I have Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. Oh, there we go. Although usually, there we go. I was like, where usually that disappears. So, right. So it talks about like Keller Mortgage and then Keller Covered. So some of the programs that we have available. If you didn't know that we had these available, we have Keller Covered and Keller Mortgage. And Keller Mortgage is actually a very solid mortgage company. I actually did my purchase in Idaho through Keller Mortgage because I wasn't loyal to any local lenders there in the Idaho area. So I did it through Keller Mortgage. Keller Mortgage doesn't have any lender fees. And they give you $1,000 credit towards your title and escrow fees. So closing cost wise, it keeps it very low. You're really just paying for your prepaids and then your title and escrow fees. And then their interest rates are very competitive with anything else out there. If you've got a buyer looking at like your online loan programs like Rocket Mortgage or any of those, I would send them over to Keller Mortgage, hands down, without thought. Like most of those people that are applying at those Rocket Mortgage or the Loan Depot or whatever those are online lenders are, they're really just doing it because they think they're getting value, and they think that if they talk to somebody local, it's going to cost them more. So you're probably not going to convince them to call somebody local. But if you're like, oh, I've got an online lender, there's no lender fees, they're going to give you $1,000 credit towards your closing costs. Now you've taken control of the situation and they're gonna call them. Everybody that I know that has had a online lender that has gone to Keller Mortgage has saved both in closing costs and in rates, the lower rate and lower closing costs. So it's very competitive and good. And you can pick your loan officer. So as you close deals through Keller Mortgage, you work with different loan officers. And when you find one you like, you can pick that loan officer as your primary loan officer. And then anybody that you refer to Keller Mortgage through your link goes to your loan officer. So it's the same as like having, you get somebody assigned to you, which is kind of fun. If you don't have one picked out, it's not a big deal. They'll go to a loan officer. You'll have that loan officer as your contact through that entire process. At one point, I had like 3 deals going through Keller Mortgage, and it was before I had pinpointed a loan officer, and I had like 3 different loan officers. It was very confusing trying to keep it all straight. Just throwing that out there. And you don't have to like work with somebody to pick one. You can go into your Keller Mortgage site. I think it's like, hold on, Keller Mortgage. .kw.com. Let's try that. Nope. I'll have to find the site later, but there's a site you can go to where it logs you into your portal. Oh, wait. And then you can see who your loan officer is, and you can see what deals you have and who started the process of like a refinance or a purchase. I don't feel like this is the right, oh, no. No. All right, I'll have to find the Keller Mortgage agent sites. It's gonna bother me now. Portal.kellermortgage.com is where you would go to log into your Keller Mortgage, and you can search loan officers. So give us just a second. Welcome to the agent portal. It's a fancy little dot thing it's got going on instead of the spinning wheel of death. All right, so here, if we go to like deals, I don't know that I have anything in here currently. Look at, no, archive deals. So it keeps track of all your deals. And if somebody refinances, it'll track them in here as well. So I had an agent that was refinancing and they actually referred other people. And so it keeps track of all those people because they just kept sharing my link. So it all linked back to me and gave them to my loan officer. So it keeps track of all that, and you get notifications via text message as well that, you know, Amy Petard has started the loan process with Keller Mortgage Zero Mortgage Loan Program or whatever. So it keeps track of that. Under my LO, that would be your loan officer. So this is where you can pick your loan officer. So you can go in there if you didn't have somebody, and you can hit add loan officer. You can search for property location, right? And then you can go through and look at the different loan officers. Somebody doesn't have like a picture, you're going to be like, I wouldn't pick that person. They don't have a picture. And then you can like, feel like they've really grown in their loan officers if they're available, if you want to add them. So you could be, oh, Angela, what's Angela? And you can read about her bio. You can see where she's licensed. So if you've got like, if you came from another state or have lots of friends or family in another state, you could pick somebody that's licensed in both California and Florida so that you can refer them and everybody works with the same loan officer. So you can just find out a little bit of information and you can pick and choose. And that way, like if you pick somebody, then it adds them to your LO list. And then as people click on your link, it will assign them to that person instead of just randomly picking people. So kind of a fun way to do it. So that would be Keller Mortgage. So again, that was portal.kellermortgage.com. The login's going to be the same as your MyKW login or your command login. Okay. There's marketing stuff in here. So you could use this to market on social media, logos, right? So it's got more things.
Amy, is this how you got everything? I'm sorry, I was just zoning out like crazy. Is this how you, I'm looking at your website. Is this how you got all that stuff about Keller Mortgage onto your, like the get pre-approved page? Or did you create all that content and all that clicking and all that by yourself?
I did not create all of that. I'm going to check and see if it's here or if this takes you to the pre-approval page. Otherwise, I'll show you how to get there. There we go. So this is my Keller Mortgage page. So I got there on my, oh, come on, go away. I got there on my Keller Mortgage site right here. It has my personal link. And I just copied it. So the way that I got it on my website was I put the hyperlink, I embedded it into a Wix website and then took that Wix website and directed it into my KW. There was I had to do like a Google search to figure out how to do that, because on the KW website, you can't just embed a hyperlink and have it show up correctly. So I had to do it on Wix and then do the Wix page onto, I don't remember exactly how I did that, but I could do some research again to figure it out. And do a little class on that. It was kind of difficult the first time, and then it was really easy after that, but that's why that matches this.
Is the Wix one that you're talking about, is that a free like thing, or do you have to pay for that service? To do all that?
I am, oh, maybe that wasn't the right page. Yeah, it is. I ended up paying for Wix because I wanted it branded to me and not to Wix.
Got it.
But
Okay.
Wix is free. You can have it set up as free.
Got it.
You just can't personalize the link on it.
Amy, I have a
And
question.
Yeah,
So the priority lenders like the Keller Mortgage, is that who you make your first? That's your first, because I thought like Daniel Kwan was like the in-house lender. So who's kind of like the first go-to?
yeah, so absolutely. So when I refer, number one, anytime you refer anybody, whether it be lenders or insurance agents or whatever it is, you really should try to refer 3 of them. So that your clients have people to choose from and that you're not pigeonholing them into one person who then fails them and then it's your fault. So we usually try to refer 3. I always include Keller Mortgage on that list of 3. It's usually my last choice. I really struggle with referring Keller Mortgage. And the reason that I do struggle with that is that I believe that I want people to keep real estate local, right? I want them to use agents local to the area. And if I want people to use agents local to the area, why would I use a lender that's not local to the area? And so I refer my local lenders first. I don't do much business with Daniel Kwan, only because I've been in business for a really long time and I kind of have my lender relationships. There's no requirement to use Daniel Kwan as your lender. They are associated with Keller Williams, but there's no requirement there. I do recommend that you talk with them, see what they have to offer, maybe try 1 or 2 clients there to see what you think. And I would recommend doing that with any lender, like try to create some different relationships with lenders in town. And try them out and see who you like the best and who's got the best programs or who can get those pre-approvals done or who's making sure they can close things on time. Like you want somebody that can get it done and that communicates with you and that offers you something, right? If we're going to refer them clients, we want something in return. And that might not be referral clients, but it may be that they're willing to sit in an open house with you on the weekends. Or it may be that they're willing to help you with marketing material, or that they're willing, right? There might be something in it for you. So you just want to make sure that relationship's reciprocal. So on my lender referrals list, I have a local lender. I have a local bank. I usually refer Benjamin over at Travis Credit Union because some people like to deal directly with banks. And so I want to give them that option. And then I refer Keller Mortgage. Again, where Keller Mortgage really comes into play for me and where I'd really push it towards somebody is somebody who's really concerned about their cost to close the loan, or somebody who is shopping online lenders. Keller Mortgage will beat just about any online lender hands down every single time on both closing costs and rates. And so if you've got somebody shopping online, then that's where I'm going to send them. Okay, so there's the website, right? We talked about that. And then also here, we have your guide builder here on command under the consumer site, that last option down there on the left-hand side. Then across the top, you have your guide builder, and this is where you can go in there and you can edit your buyer and seller guides.
Amy.
So yeah.
So I did my buyer and seller guide, but I kind of basically took the ones that you had in the PC and then just kind of it towards me and changed obviously the wording. But can I just upload those onto here? Is that what you're getting ready to show us? Did I jump the gun?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't like just upload it directly as a PDF, but you can go in there and edit the guide. So like we'll go into the seller's guide and hit edit guide just by hitting those last 3 little dots. And then here's where it walks you through. So there's an introduction. So here's the introduction, right? Let's get started. It's got over here, you've got your text, and then so you can edit it over on this right-hand side and it'll magically appear here in the preview screen. Once you make any changes, you would hit save changes. And then, so that's your introduction. And then there's the guide. From the introduction, if you hit get started, it's going to take you in, it would take you into the guide. So if you were a seller, you would read this and then hit get started. I don't think I edited this because it still says Paul in here. And Paul has been eliminated from my guide. Paul is the original guide. And then you can go in here and you can update and edit each step. You can drag and change them around. So like you can drag the steps into a different order. Here, if you wanted to edit this step, you're just going to click on it. And it'll say like, here's where you can replace the image. So I've changed out all the images. You know, I don't know. I feel like, hold on. I feel like it doesn't like me very much and that it's not letting me, it looks like it wants to let me edit, but it doesn't want to. I don't know.
Logged into mine too, and I'm just trying to like follow your steps, but I can't edit anything. So like I'll click on start your search, for instance, and then it pops up, but you can't make any changes.
Yeah, okay, let me mess with this a little bit. Hold on. It's like a spinning wheel of death right now. I made it angry because I clicked on it too many times. Instead of continuing to click on other things.
Amy, I wonder if it's something to do with the site, because earlier I was in there and I was able to edit and it wasn't doing like what it's doing on your side, like highlighting the whole screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something to do with command. because it's doing on my side right now too.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
And like I said, I was able to edit in there earlier. Didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't edit anything, but it wasn't doing that.
It's really angry at me right now. All right, let's. It's like, done.
Are we frozen?
We're not, maybe Amy is.
I think it's Amy again.
Because I see some movement, but I don't see her moving.
I think
I
she's
just see a
froze.
black, she's just a black screen for me.
Poor Amy. All she wants to do is record a video. Always frozen. Hold on, wait, she's back. Wait, she's back.
Am I back? I'm still
Yes,
frozen. though.
Yes. You're frozen, but we can hear you.
Hold on, I'm trying to switch Wi-Fi networks. Give me just a.
Did anybody hear her say if she has a copy of her preferred lenders or if she has it in PC Peeps or somewhere? Or when she gives that? Because I thought it was in her.
I think you do your
it was
own
in the
list.
thing.
You're gonna do your own list of who you want. You're like, if you say you like Caliber or Solano Mortgage or, you pick your own.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I just mean like how she delivers it, like what it looks like.
Oh, gotcha.
You know
My
what I
bad.
mean? Like, is it? I
You
think-
didn't specify just now. I don't know if you're referring to in the past, but she just now know.
Ta-da!
Mhm.
All right, I'm on my phone now because my computer has stopped participating in any process. So
You can have a talk with your computer.
yeah, it's probably angry at me because my 50 billion tabs and the fact that it hasn't been restarted in a while. So I'll deal with it later.
Hey, Amy, I was asking for your, for the preferred lenders, that
Yeah.
you've mentioned a couple times. Not talking about the people you use, but like, where do you have that document housed? And then like, when do you put it? Because I thought it would be in your buyer's guide, but I don't see it.
It used to be the last page of my buyer's guide.
Oh, let me look.
So I thought it was still in there, but it could not be. I could have
Oh,
deleted
there it
it.
is. I just skipped it. Thank you. I just skipped it.
I was like, it should be like the
My
last
thing
page.
went too fast. Yeah, I just skipped right past it. Sorry. I was like, no, it says your new home questions.
Yeah, so that's where I normally store it. And then I also have it in email format so that I could forward it over to people, or I can shoot them over a text message with the contact information.
Okay, that's what I was just trying to see, like what kind of information you put on there, but it looks like you put their number and everything, so it's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna update it actually though, because like one of my lenders, we were talking about the fact that they do the Homes for Heroes program. And that's like some of our clients that are VA or military, a lot of times they like to try to call USAA first. And I don't like working with USAA, so letting them know that this person has a program specifically designed for like military or first responders where they get a small discount. A lot of times that's enough to get people drawn over to get pre-approved with them rather than like a Navy Federal or a USAA. All right. Oh, now I'm echoing. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm not echoing now. I think my computer's back, maybe.
Kinda.